Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. It's a new year, and instead of a live show, I thought we should take a random look back at some of my favorite news stories that we covered on the show in 2017. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
This is a story out of Hyannis, Massachusetts. Sean Miller, 31 years old, also known as Shiz,
course.
according to court records, of course,
Shiz.
Was arrested last week in South Yarmouth. Yarmouth?
Was
something like that. South Yarmouth.
South your mouth. That's
if it's
sounds
in
like
South,
a redneck
it's,
dentist.
if it's in
You hear,
South,
like,
it's Yarmouth.
Where's this canker store?
It's
South
in your mouth.
South. It's about south your mouth.
That's your bottom lip.
South your mouth. You've been blowing on too many bottles. You've been blowing on too many whiskey bottles.
Yeah, those jug bands will do
Those
it.
jugs. Yeah, quit blowing on the jugs for about 3 weeks. Take this benzocaine, you'll be fine.
Anyway,
See you later, Dale.
He was arrested on an April indictment accusing him and several other people of heroin possession, go figure, and intent to distribute. Federal prosecutor said agents didn't arrest the man who walked out of the home of Miller's mom, because he lived with his mom, which they'd been staking out for weeks until an alert officer noticed something suspicious about his eyes. Basically, the story is he was disguised as an old man. He wore an old man, had all kinds of makeup on,
terrible.
and
Don't
he was
ever
walking
do
around
that.
with a long time. Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
No, don't ever.
Don't ever be disguised as a man.
Yeah.
Old man.
How's Uncle Eon been?
I heard he's pretty good.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's what he's doing to try to get booked is just pinging people with emails like all the time.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, he just totally like.
Well,
after
that's the best way to get booked. That's the best way to get booked.
The thing.
Is to
Comics,
dress as an
if you're
old
listening,
man and then,
like just incessantly send emails about how you need to get shows and
Facebook. Facebook will get you if you just constantly send messages and comment on
I
there.
think George Carlin would have gotten booked a lot now if he just commented on enough stuff.
Yeah. He hasn't been booked on anything in quite some time either, and it's a shame.
It is. It is. But probably somebody should be commenting for him or something.
Yeah.
on a comment below after you see a flyer with like 8 heads on it that aren't your head. Can I get on this show? That's how you get on. Comment.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen to me, comics, and know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I liked what this guy's neighbor, this Sean Miller, what his neighbor said about, because he apparently holds this Shiz in high regard.
Sure.
I think it was pretty clever. I've never seen something like that before. That's someone who really knows what they're doing. That is a direct quote from Sean Miller's neighbor about his old man disguise to hide from officers while wanted on heroin charges.
Yeah, actually, gotta say, it's always change your shirt. Change your shirt color. Old man's even better.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's a guy that really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, when I was younger,
anyway.
and I learned how to run from the cops, it's always if you have 2 shirts on, you take the other shirt off, throw it away.
Most of the time I was running from cops, I did not have a shirt on. Or pants.
Yeah.
So I had to confuse them by putting the shirt on. That's because
totally
that was the last
opposite.
thing they expected.
That's the opposite of what you'd see on cops.
Right.
Everybody's got their shirt off. Dang.
Oh, yeah. That's what I do. I try to be different.
Yeah.
If I'm going to.
No, definitely go the opposite way of the herd.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So what do we think of? Do we want to get into that? Do we want to get into what we're thinking?
Too early to call. Yeah, it still hasn't flipped my give up meter. So
yeah. See, I was really hoping my candidate had a shot, but unfortunately, Vermin Supreme wasn't to be.
Mine didn't even get on the ballot.
I wanted my
pony.
As
a British citizen, it's tough.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
true.
I think being the undead is
you guys do
harder.
know who Vermin Supreme is, don't
yes.
Well, Dave does. You're
I'm
not
from New
familiar.
England. I know all about Vermin
You're
Supreme.
not familiar with Vermin Supreme. Vermin Supreme, actually, I think he was on a couple of the different state ballots for president several different times. He's a brilliant man. He wears a rubber boot for a hat. He's got a big long beard like a wizard, and he promises a pony for everybody. And it's not just any pony. It is your personal identification pony. It will eliminate.
See, I would have voted for that.
It will absolutely eliminate identity theft because nobody can prove they're you unless they have your pony.
Can you get that in a unicorn?
Well, I have a feeling.
Unicorn pony?
He did run on a unicorn platform.
Like
I don't know.
made of
That's
unicorn?
Did that just teeter a lot?
I would think that would be very unstable.
It seems a little shaky.
But I think the whole thing was a little unstable.
Well,
and
let me
shaky.
tell you, a unicorn platform has definitely got my niece's vote.
Yeah.
The 4-year-olds would unite around Vermin Supreme.
Exactly. I think he should have had a shot. I mean, at least as good a shot as Gary Johnson.
Probably got as many votes.
Yep. He probably smoked about as much. I actually did vote for Gary Johnson because I looked at Trump and I looked at Hillary and I said, hell with it, give me the stoner.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have broken any of his campaign promises. He would just been high and forgot that he made them.
Yeah.
I was just hoping he'd find out what an Aleppo was.
What's that? There's that moment of silence.
Yeah. To quickly explain, somebody asked him his thoughts on Aleppo, which is the capital of Syria and the headquarters of ISIS, and his response was, "What's an Aleppo?"
Oh, okay. Because I was actually thinking Aleppo.
That's one of them new critters at the zoo, ain't it?
Yep. Didn't they used to run around in colonies? Leppos? Oh, that's lepers. Oh, this one's about a relationship. You wouldn't know anything about that. Here's another one. Fast food lovers are likely in awe over the sheer. This is a story that actually, badassery. I guess I can use that because it's not technically a word. But if you go to the root of it, it might not be. Yeah, but anyway, of a 13-year-old girl who reportedly smacked down a gun held by a boy demanding that she give him a McDonald's Chicken McNugget.
One nugget.
One nugget. Would not part with her nugget. The girl told police that her 12-year-old schoolmate first asked her for a McNugget inside McDonald's in New York City's Harlem neighborhood on Tuesday. When she declined, he allegedly followed her to a subway station, whipped out the weapon, and held it to her head. Even at gunpoint, the teen refused to hand over even one lump of breaded chicken paste. She knocked the gun away from the boy and told him to leave her alone.
Wow, I've always wondered how gang members get their nicknames, but I know in a couple years that guy he's gonna be Nugget.
Yep.
And he's gonna have to explain that one. Hey, why they call you Nugget, man?
See, I don't like McDonald's enough to risk my life for it, but apparently some people, this girl was really in love with chicken nuggets.
McDonald's, no, I would not risk my life for that. What I would, at gunpoint, take would be Pillsbury mini chocolate chip cookies. Soft bake, found in the bookstore here.
Absolutely. I understand, because those are fantastic cookies, once again. So, what were they again, Joe?
That would be Pillsbury mini chocolate chip cookies, soft baked.
Awesome. So you would fight with an armed assailant to protect your soft baked Pillsbury goodness.
I'm gonna say yes. I am. If there's somebody here who wants to do that, don't.
See, and I was talking about the cookies. I wasn't picking on you about soft baked Pillsbury goodness. That's just not right.
I'll just ping one, walk away.
If I'm not touching that one, I'm going to waddle the heck out of here.
Guys, if you see a short man in a tuxedo waddling out of here with cookies.
We'll start out where we start. A man is accused of stabbing a tribal police officer with a pen after he and his wife were denied re-entry to a casino because she urinated on herself. Aaron Martin Vorak, 37 years old, is accused of punching and stabbing George Closser, a tribal police officer at the Little Traverse Band of Ottawa Indians, before security offers at the casino resort helped subdue the subject. The video appeared to show he punched the officer in the groin several times and then stabbed the officer in the chest and face with what is believed to be a pin.
Is this Joe
Oh,
Pesci?
wait.
I mean, what is going on here?
I'm funny now.
Yeah. Funny like a clown?
So I like that they just threw in there that she peed on herself
Yeah,
for
that
no
was,
reason.
well, just that little
that's
bit.
why that's where the situation transpired.
Well, look,
Right,
she's not
exactly.
quite as crazy as stabbing somebody, but she's crazy like pee your pants crazy.
Right.
You know?
Well, I think it was
You guys
Peter
don't ever
Pan's
do that?
drunk.
That happens by accident sometimes.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
I
not
mean-
that for me. I'm just saying it.
Oh, okay. Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I just didn't want to clean up after the show.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave it for the next people coming in. And they'll
If you have a
appreciate
Swifter, we're good.
it. Yeah,
Swifter?
Swifter. Yeah, Swifter. Well,
Swiffer.
you got to clean it up Swifter. It'll stink.
Swiffer.
I thought it was a Swifter.
There's no T in there, bro.
Yeah.
No, it's
Swiffer.
just a Swiffer.
I learned something today.
Well, they put the cross through the F, so it can be confusing.
Okay. Or I'm just
Not.
retarded.
It's not
Yeah, no,
confusing.
it's not confusing at all. I'm just trying to make you feel better.
You're
'cause
very nice. Thank
Because
you.
you're an Eagles fan and you've been through enough.
That's right, brother.
Actually, I'm such an Eagles fan, I haven't even watched this past several seasons.
You haven't missed anything.
Exactly, so I'm worried about it. We've gone from Ewoks to nipples to radishes.
To sushi hookers.
To sushi. To gas station sushi.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. How long we been in here so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a long time.
31 minutes.
We're like a third of the way there.
We're gonna kill it.
Yeah, we're just wait. We're gonna come back and get this right next week.
Next week.
All right, we'll get some news then. Burglar who got himself stuck in a second-story bathroom window during an attempted break-in has been jailed. All right, what are you doing over there, Joe?
I'm just playing.
Okay, you're just playing. You're smacking everything. You have any idea how hard that's going to be to edit out?
Keep going. Just go with it.
Joe Robinette on for his third and last time. I'm just kidding, Joe. You're all right. Anyway.
You make noises on this, it vibrates in the microphone.
Yeah. That's
why I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. Joe's playing with he likes things that vibrate. Anyway, police in Radcliffe, near Manchester, Northern England, arrived to find Sean Crawshaw. Well, with a name like Crawshaw, you're going to be stuck in a bathroom window eventually. He was suspended 15 feet above the ground. The 47-year-old's head was firmly wedged inside the small window. His knees were placed on the sill, and his legs were dangling below. Police called fire crews, which took about 20 minutes to extricate Crawshaw from his predicament.
Crawshaw?
Yes. He injured his ear as he was being set free.
His ear?
His ear. Apparently just his ear. He was charged with burglary with intent. He pleaded guilty because, he was stuck in the window, so it's not like he could say, I don't know how I got there.
I just woke up like this.
Sentenced to 2 years and 5 months in jail. That is a long sentence just for stupidity.
That judge is harsh.
That is harsh.
He should be like, you know what, you're going to get laughed at enough.
Yeah.
For getting your head stuck in a 2-story window.
Well, his head's going to be stuck in more than
at 47 years old.
Yeah.
You need to be smarter at 47. At least know what you can fit into.
His name's Crankshaw or whatever.
Crawshaw.
That's not his fault, though.
What'd you say?
That's not his fault.
It just sounds like he didn't pass. That name sounds like he didn't pass the 3rd grade.
How long was he hanging out the window till someone found him?
Well, they said, I don't know. It doesn't say that. He said it took him 20 minutes to get him out. So
that's funny.
I'm sure he was there for a while before the cops got there. So.
And he injured his ear.
He injured his ear. So on top of an ear injury, he's going to have to go into jail for 2.5 years.
What are you in for?
Answering what happened to his
Getting
ear.
Stuck in a window?
Yeah.
And lost my pride.
Yes.
Won't even doing nothing.
So we'll go ahead and read this. This is kind of a feel-good story. The obituary of a 75-year-old Galveston, Texas man who died of cancer last month is getting a lot of attention for its brutal description of the deceased. Leslie Ray Popeye Charping.
Oh, sounds charming.
Lived, and I quote from the obituary, 29 years longer than expected and much longer than he deserved. The obituary states that Charping's children were relieved at his death. It got so much attention that the volume of people trying to read it apparently crashed the local funeral home's website. It goes on. Leslie's hobbies included being abusive to his family, expediting trips to heaven for the beloved family pets, and fishing, which he was less skilled with than the previously mentioned.
Oh, my God.
Leslie's life served no other purpose no other obvious purpose. He did not contribute to society or serve his community, and he possessed no redeeming qualities besides quick-witted sarcasm, which was amusing during his sober days. That is a harsh obituary.
It sounds like that's that person's opinion, man. Like, what if this guy actually, was just, I don't know, a jokester? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a comedian. That's right. He was just a stand-up comic.
Just for lack of a better way of putting it, a ball buster, we do that a lot. I don't know. People are...
he was just a really big Don Rickles fan. That's really what it was. And he just was misunderstood. So if that's the case, Leslie Popeye Charping, rest in peace. If not, if all this is true, then I don't know.
Then you deserve where you're at right now. People didn't like you.
Yes, apparently not. And it just puts me in mind of what my obituary might say.
Oh yeah.
I like to think I would have one or two friends or family members that go, we shouldn't put that.
Yeah.
At least
that makes it sound too honest.
Yeah. Can you at least say he was all right?
Yeah.
Something,
Yeah. Brandon was okay.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy.
He was all right.
Rest in peace. We'll just stop there.
Yeah. Stop before it goes too far.
Yeah.
Things are pretty chilly in Whitehorse, Yukon in February, where the average temperature rarely exceeds 25 degrees Fahrenheit. But things can still get heated thanks to a chilling, hair-freezing competition. The Takini Hot Pools, which has held a very cool contest every February since 2011, invites hot spring visitors to submit their best frozen hair photos in hopes of winning the first prize of $700 in cold hard cash. The hot pools have offered some tips on how to get that freshly frozen look. First, hair freezing is best done in temperatures negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit and colder. Any warmer and your hair might take too long to freeze. So if you want to freeze your hair, you can win up to $700.
I hope everyone that does that gets frostbite in their face.
Yeah, well, their whole head.
Yeah,
probably.
I hope their ears fall off.
So not a big fan of hair freezing.
No, I just like making fun of things. That's what I do.
Oh, okay. Well, it's comedy. I'm so offended.
I'm thinking you can freeze the top. I guess they're talking about freezing the hair on the top of your head.
I would hope.
I was wondering if you can you freeze other hairs? I'm wondering.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
Try your beard.
Yeah. Well, the beard might be
That's
fine.
The face.
But then you're going to lips again frozen off. That would be hilarious.
I think he was talking further
I know
south.
what he was talking
about.
I know exactly what he's talking.
You don't want to deep freeze that. I used to work in a frozen food warehouse, and our freezer was 20 degrees, and if you dropped a hot dog, it would break.
Oh, right.
So you don't want to freeze too far south.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking chest hair.
Well,
then you might snap a nipple off if you're not careful.
I'm going to try that one day.
I think I've said nipple on every show since I've been back on the air.
I believe you.
I'm
not surprised whatsoever.
I want to snap my nipple one day. That's on my bucket list now.
Dan, I want to snap your nipple.
I like.
Be honest with you.
Okay.
Who doesn't like their nipples played with? Okay, I'm really venturing into territory.
Oh, Dawn, I know you cared.
I was at a strip club once. I wasn't even paying attention to one just sneaked up behind me. She lifted my shirt and started sucking on my nipple.
Stripper, okay. I thought a nipple just snuck up behind me. I was wondering how that happened.
A stripper snuck up on me
strip club.
and started sucking my nipple. I didn't even see.
Okay, I think we're going too far. But that's all right.
I was completely confused by that.
It's not confusion. It's just, I don't know if we should say these.
Surprise. How about surprise?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I understand this is a college radio station. I really don't belong on this.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're doing great, Eric. The first time that you're doing, you've been on here before. Never mind.
No. For your first time, this is good.
Yeah,
you've been on it before. Never mind. Yeah. Thanks for that
your
backsided compliment, you jerk.
Your third time.
Yep. You're doing pretty good for your first time.
Yes, exactly. Third time, this is awful.
Yeah, you're terrible. You need to just quit. But that's okay, because I was looking at something here because you mentioned Jurassic Park, and we have a news story related.
Is it that they named the second movie or the sequel or whatever?
Is it
That
the
could
rhino?
be-
The
that
rhino
could
they're
be.
gonna
Yeah, you got two rhinos in a row.
got two rhino. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a story about the northern white rhino.
Oh,
There's down to 3. They got 3 of them,
really?
and the old guy's not getting it up anymore. So really, they just have 2 and just a useless one that just sort of walks around being grumpy all the time, and 2 young ladies that can't get the business.
They can't get Rhino
Oh, man.
Viagra up
Yeah.
in here.
They're trying
Man,
to,
that's
clone
terrible.
them or do something. They try to save the species.
See, I did not know
Oh,
that.
okay. I thought
I
that's
had
where you're
not.
going.
I had not been
Jurassic Park.
following. No,
Nature
this
finds
is,
a way. If by
Yeah.
nature I mean science.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Life finds a way.
Oh. Sorry, it's been a while since I saw the film. I'll try and quote it more accurately.
Anyway, a Harvard University scientist told The Guardian last week that his team is only 2 years from resurrecting some traits of the woolly mammoth, which went extinct during the last ice age. The goal is to create an embryo that's a hybrid of the woolly mammoth and its closest living relative, the Asian elephant. And they're quoting, our aim is to produce a hybrid elephant-mammoth embryo. Actually, it would be more like an elephant with a number of mammoth traits.
You know, somewhere there's a really rich guy who's like, "I'll fund that if I can eat it."
Yeah.
They just want a hairy elephant. That's all.
There you
Because
go.
it's not
Yeah,
going to be a
that's-
mammoth. They're just going to be an elephant with mammoth traits. So just
Right.
So yeah,
hairy,
just
hairy
I
elephant.
could have just put a toupee on an elephant and accomplished the same thing for like $20.
Yeah, there you go. And it wouldn't take 2 years to do
I'm going
it.
to get me a grant. Yeah, it's not going to take 2 years.
See, how do they know? How do they know it's going to take exactly 2 years?
They're scientists.
Is it, okay, I understand.
have it down
I
to a
understand
science.
that, but
or unless it's a 2-year legal process right now that they're in.
right.
You got to take the elephant mother to
of all
court.
the
Is that
things
it?
because the descendants of the
woolly
mammoth are
mammoth.
trying to sue.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's their birthright.
Yeah, they
to
want
have
to,
that
who gets the
DNA.
custody of the kids? Well, is it
Right.
going to be the elephant? You know.
Right. Yeah.
But with all the animals to bring back, I feel like that one went out naturally.
Yeah.
There's a
pretty
lot
much.
that went out not naturally. They could focus on.
See, I want them to bring back the saber-toothed tiger if they're going to do that.
I want the
'cause
giant
something's-
sloth.
Oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
all the other
Yeah.
characters from the film Ice Age. Is that what we're doing here?
Well, the giant
Oh,
sloth.
is it?
The giant sloth. They said the reason it went extinct is natives. That's from here, Ohio, and they were about the size, like they were bigger than a bear. They were about like they could like a 2-story house. They could, but they were so dumb and slow. But nobody messed with them because they were huge. Humans just went up and just stabbed them. Just walked right up to it and stabbed it, ate it. So that's why it went extinct because it didn't really. Like you could just walk up and cuddle it.
Yeah.
It was fine until man got here.
Hey, what's that sharp thing you
Oh.
got?
See, it wasn't technology they were. Well, the sharp stick, I guess, was
Yeah,
technology.
yeah, it's the sharp
that
stick.
That was a technology of the time, man. The sharp
Yeah.
stick.
And we thought fire was impressive.
We had
I
the
was saying-
fire, wheel, and the sharp stick. That was the.
You could walk outside and get held by like a little baby, like just by this giant fuzzy Dr. Seuss looking animal. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
What a great world that would be.
It'd be a lot less wars if we could all just be cuddled by giant
Yeah.
sloths.
Just teaching the carries around like babies, and then just
That's how we're going to make
Yeah.
America great again. Giant sloths.
Yeah.
giant sloth.
Child care costs would
Oh,
they would just plummet.
Yeah.
You know, you could just leave your kid with a giant.
That's what we have to
With
put
the
on the
sloth.
wall so the Mexicans can't come over and get our giant sloths.
Get our giant sloth jobs.
It has to be
Yeah.
tall enough to keep the sloth
They
from just
took
crawling
our
over into
sloth.
Mexico.
Sleepy sloths.
Oh, that is terrible. But yeah, I think we should start that should be a GoFundMe campaign to bring back the giant sloth.
I'm on it.
I love that.
Probably more successful than any grant proposal I write.
Well, that's probably true. Okay, well, apparently there's a phone call coming in. So,
Oh.
yeah. So
The
let's-
authorities have found us.
Yes, the authorities have found us. Let's see who we got. You're on the air. This is the life.
Hey, this is Jim Bob. I'm calling about directions to that Church of the Cannabinoids.
Which directions is that, Jim Bob?
Directions to the Church of the Cannabinoids.
Are you driving a Volvo?
No, I'm driving a Ram pickup.
I bet.
Ram it on in.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. Jim Bob, what can we do for you? You want directions, but
What directions?
directions. Which way are you going?
I'm going this way.
Okay. On is that on that street?
Go towards Indy and look for the cloud.
If you type,
I'm on 444.
Yeah, you take 444 over to 70 West, man. And then when you get 70 West, you're going to follow that all the way into Indianapolis, man. And then you're going to look for the Grand Poobah, because that's the dude that runs the place, man. And, yeah.
They might need directions in the studio. This might be a guest coming in. I can't remember who I booked, so Jim Bob could be on his way into the studio.
South Rural Street. That's rural. Like rural, like RURAL, Rural Street.
I thought you were growling at me for a second.
3400.
I thought he was trying to say railroad. You know, just had they say it over in the Hockin, go across the railroad.
You got that rural railroad? Railroad.
Charge.
Is it a floor shine?
They don't give you gotta, like, all right, man, like, if you take cannabis there, they're gonna be upset. They don't want you to do it on their property because the neighbors have a video camera and they spy on them and don't like them because it's Indiana. And so they just promote the use of it. They don't give it to you for free.
That damn pitch ruined that steak.
They honestly, Jerry Goebel, the guy that runs the place, he sued Mike Pence over this whole thing and then stood out on the main street with a giant inflatable penis and represented Mike Pence.
Oh.
Does that count for anything?
So he wasn't standing with Mike Pence.
No, he just
there was
had...
some other giant inflatable penis.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
You all right, Jim Bob?
Yeah, I was just loading up one hit here. I dropped some stuff on the floor, but it's okay. I got more.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Well, you be careful out there.
Don't let the 5-0 get you, man.
Yep.
Hey, can you play a song for me later?
What song do you have in mind? I may be able to find it.
There's a tear in my beer.
Roll Another Number by Neil Young.
I don't think we have that.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're very limited.
How about Wu-Tang Clan's Bring the Ruckus?
I can do that. I can do Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf.
Sweet Leaf, there you go.
I can do that.
Put your pedal to the metal. I'm going to
I love you, Sweet Leaf.
Pontiac GT.
Okay, now we've just lost this whole show. All right, settle down.
Well, all right,
We've got to keep this under control.
I'm getting pulled over by a trooper. I'll see you later.
All right, have fun.
All right, bye.
Bye.
He's still sitting in his driveway. You know that, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
I kind of thought that was my dad for like a half a second doing a really bad hillbilly impression. It was like, maybe not, but it could be.
The weekdays are made for working, but the weekends, those are made for gaming. Join Ellison Smith every Saturday for a new episode of Saltwater Gaming as he breaks down video games of all different genres, consoles, platforms, and eras. Get a bit of the old and a bit of the new, a bit of the action and a bit of the mystery. Get it all every Saturday on Saltwater Gaming, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Here's a fact you may not have known. Some ducks have a 14-inch penis. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's crazy. It's a real fact. And that's why Daisy wouldn't give me your number, because Donald satisfies her on every level. It's a real thing. You guys can Google it. I swear to God.
Okay, I'm Googling it.
Google it right now.
Googling duck
Google
penis
duck
right now.
14-inch penis.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. That is fascinating.
Because ducks are super into rape culture.
I hate ducks right now.
Well, so the women duck.
I have duck envy.
They have like several different passageways inside them to prevent themselves from being raped. And so the long penis that the men have is sort of the counter to that. It's weird. The ducks have a whole weird thing going on.
So
there.
it's like a little parry thrust. They're like fencing.
Right.
They're duck fencing with a 14-inch penis.
Right. Male ducks are very rapey, and the women have their own built-in mechanisms to prevent that.
Wow.
You guys are learning a lot about ducks.
I've always wondered about the duck penis.
Right.
Because it was just
people do.
Okay. I really don't want to change the subject now, because that's just fascinating to know.
Oreos are pretty
good. You've basically exhausted my knowledge about ducks. So
okay, that was all you knew about them.
I have a couple that also live in my house, in my pond, for a couple months out of the year. They haven't been by this year though. There are a couple geese there though, and I hope the chupacabras get them. Because
I was going to say,
geese.
yeah,
I hate geese.
I was worried for the ducks that the chupacabras would get.
Which
them.
may be why they haven't come back. They might have gotten scared off last year, and they know better than to come back.
Yeah. Now, it's Sasquatch. Have you ever had a Sasquatch sighting, or do those not exist at all?
Oh no, I believe they exist, but I'm no expert on Sasquatch. I spend.
You just stick with the chupacabra,
on the chupacabras
and duck penis.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. Now I know where to go for all my chupacabra needs. Polly wants something a little stronger than crackers these days. A lot stronger. Wild parrots have been raiding poppy fields in India in order to get high on the flowers of the opium. Or the flowers' opium. The dope-craving birds will sit still, perched on trees near the poppies until workers slip open the pods and help the plants ripen quicker. The parrots, then numbering in the hundreds, have learned not to squawk because they're stealth parrots. Apparently, they swoop down, nibble the stalks, and fly back to the trees where they nod off for hours, sometimes even falling to their deaths. Just like the heroin epidemic here.
Oh, man. You just, wow.
Yeah, had to segue right into that, didn't it?
Yeah. Let's keep this show light and happy. Oh, like the heroin. Yes, exactly.
Yes, the light and happy. These unfortunate parrots do not have Narcan.
That's right. They don't. Not that I'm aware of. But
right.
So they... I was going to say,
that did kind of bring that to a pretty dark place. It's this cute story about parrots.
Parrots, falling to their death as they nod off. That's right. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I wasn't sure about the journalism there because they were attributing this motivation to the parrots, but as it went on, it seems like it's pretty obvious that they have become hooked. So,
it's addictive parrots, very addictive personalities.
I wonder if those parrots that form that habit are more likely to become the pet of a pirate ship captain,
I would think so, because they've already been on the darker side of the law,
right?
There, so
instead of just going and being a law-abiding parrot, they might join some crew
parrot.
of scallywags.
Arr, that's for sure.
That's right.
That's I hadn't really thought of that angle of this story.
Well,
I
like to bring some insight to my parrot stories.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your insight. Since we're missing out on the piranha stories, we have dope fiend parrots.
There you go. Yeah. Dope fiend parrots.
Yeah, that's just sad. That really does bring the show down.
Yeah, really, an entire generation of parrots now. So this area is going to be
hooked on opium.
Right. These young parrots sitting at home waiting for dope fiend parrot to come back.
I don't know where we went wrong. That's to think of all the words I taught you, and you fell from a tree stoned. The times I've heard that speech. I always like to. They have this Italian show, this Guinness Book World Records Italian show they have on YouTube, and I just enjoy some of these because they have some of the most ridiculous records. Tongues will surely be wagging over this Guinness World Record attempt. Sideshow performer Zoe Ellis, a.k.a. Zoe Lamar. In case you didn't know who Zoe Ellis is, they had to have her alias on there as well. She recently appeared on Guinness World Records Italian show in hopes of breaking her own world record, which cracks me up that people have to break their own world record. There was a show, actually the episode with Tim Lucas, where we discussed somebody that was trying to break their own record of climbing stairs on their head.
What?
Yes, bouncing up the stairs on their head. They couldn't use their hands. They couldn't touch anything with their hands. They were on their head, upside down, trying to bounce upstairs.
I feel like that wouldn't be hard to get that record.
He already had the record, and he was trying to break his own record.
Man.
Which
yeah,
I would
no
think
one else wants to do that.
Right. I would think if you have the record,
But, I mean, he's got the record.
leave it at that. Yeah.
Hands down to him.
No, if his hands were down, he'd be disqualified. Couldn't put your hands down. Anyway,
did you watch that?
I did not. I just read the article and I thought this is an idiot.
That is, yeah.
So which is why I
we're
like
talking
to talk
about him
Yeah,
though.
exactly. This one here, no less an idiot, because she's hoping to break her own world record for stopping the most electric fan blades using her tongue. In 1 minute. She has 1 minute. Now, this, again, breaking her own record.
Jeez.
She already has the record, and apparently sticking her tongue in electric fan blades, the first, what was her record? Her record before was 20 times in 60 seconds, stopping a fan blade with your tongue. She did manage to break her record. By stopping blades with her tongue 32 times in 60 seconds.
Jesus, that's a big jump.
Yeah,
she's been practicing.
And again, this is one of those things. How many people can actually be competing for this record to where she would have to break her own?
Way.
But here's the twist in the story. Shortly after, her new world record was beaten by a Shrita Furman, who stopped the fan blades 35 times in a minute. So apparently
she'll be back out there.
Apparently this is a big draw of stopping fan blades with your tongue. Have you ever thought about doing that? Is it
no,
if the comedy falls through?
Going to the Italian Guinness.
Yeah,
the Italian Guinness World Record show.
Yep, and stop fan blades with your tongue. That's that would take a lot of tongue power. That's if you can do that, you can. Moving on. Okay, a Playboy bunny has become a chocolate bunny. This for Easter. British model Penny Delbaugh donned a chocolate bustier last week to help the Playboy magazine promote an adults-only Easter egg hunt taking place tomorrow, April 13th in London. So if you're in London and you like chocolate,
gotta get a red eye.
Bunnies. Yeah, that food artist Michelle Wibbewoe.
Can you spell that?
W-I-B. Yeah, that goes along with Periwinkle. Wibbewoe. Periwinkle and Wibbewoe. It's like a Bob Walters interview all of a
Sounds like
sudden.
something you go to the doctor and get tightened up. Doc, my Wibbewoe's a little loose.
My Wibbewoe's wobbly.
Well, we're going to put a rubber band on that.
Yep, I have a wobbling Wibbewoe. W-I-B-O-W-O. How would you pronounce that? Wibbewoe.
Hey, man, I'm there with you.
Anyway, she used 11 pounds of chocolate to create the edible ensemble. She used dark chocolate for the bulk of the bustier and white chocolate for the tail and lace design. That sounds delicious.
And if you can eat it, it's free.
Yeah, bet you can't eat the whole thing while she's screaming.
That's going to be a tired tongue at the end of that.
So I gave her diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I hope it's not a very warm day because it's just. Well, actually, I hope
I would
it is.
kind of hope it would be.
That would be kind of
hot.
Yeah, just stand in the kiddie pool and let it run.
How many times have you said
exactly.
that?
Get the garden hose, boys. We're sucking it out of there.
Just stand in the kiddie pool and let it run. That's all. Words to live by from Trace Burton.
No, I've been in a kiddie pool once or twice.
Oh wow. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's do some news
I'm a true
stories.
gentleman. It's 2017.
Yeah, there are a few like you, Andy.
Yeah. So if you're into that, let me know.
Oh, hey, here's an appropriate news story. The wife of a decorated Navy SEAL under a military investigation for moonlighting as a porn star said he was just helping her career and shouldn't be sanctioned. Joseph John Schmidt III, a Navy Chief Special Warfare Officer, that's a heck of a title, who has spent 23 years in the military, has made more than 30 porn films since 2010 under the name Jay Voom.
Yeah.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah. I met him. No, I'm kidding.
Most of them with his wife, porn star Jules Jade. Naval Special Warfare Command has begun investigating whether Schmidt violated rules that require SEALs to get advanced approval for outside work and whether his superiors knew of his side jobs. Quite honestly, no one should care because it's a legal job and a lot of people watch porn, Jade said, but he's such a good operator with a clean record. He's been Sailor of the Year numerous times and is a great public speaker and recruiter. All things that you need in the porn industry, I'm sure.
Yeah. So let the guy do it. Isn't he fighting for our right to do that?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he wants to keep that career going and be military as well.
Yeah,
so.
And that's what people like. They don't really understand about me is I have red hair. I used to be a Mormon. I'm someone's perfect idea of a fetish. Like I met people that are like really into Mormons. It's like,
really?
Man, like it's like Catholics. Like there is a subgenre. I'm like, I put on my shirt and tie and my badge like I'm a missionary and knock on their door and it's like, fine. I mean,
yeah, and you hear that 70s porn music playing in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. That was back when I was drinking.
Yeah, and you heard that music all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
but no, I think the thing I'm curious about is how did he earn Sailor of the Year? Is that connected or is that, I don't know. I don't know if that's one of the adult film industry awards or.
I mean, it could. Yeah, I didn't think about that. It could go either way. It doesn't say it's from the Navy. He's just Sailor of the Year.
Yeah, and he's a good operator with a clean record, and that's definitely something you want in the porn industry.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want bad operators up there.
Yeah.
Sailor of the Year just means you go above and beyond numerous times. So.
Yeah, I mean, my mom's friend was in the Navy. She said she didn't really care for it that much.
But was he also in porn?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's only half.
It's a lady.
Oh,
well, I guess she could still.
Yeah, I mean, those are the ones you remember the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just into some weird to be honest.
So, do we want to go on with more news stories? Because I got another one that's related.
Does the next one take place in Walla Walla, Washington?
No, actually, the next one is Stephen Hawking has said it before, and he'll say it again. If extraterrestrials call, do not answer. At least not without careful consideration. The renowned theoretical physicist hosts Stephen Hawking's Favorite Places, a new short film available on the streaming service Curiosity Stream. The film follows Hawking around, on wheels, I guess, around the universe as he travels, in quotes, in a computer-generated imagery spacecraft, giving the audience a peek into simulations of a black hole and Glyca 832c, an Earth-like planet outside our solar system that scientists believe may be able to support life. And that planet isn't even the closest possible second Earth. In August, scientists announced Proxima b, a planet orbiting Proxima Centauri. The nearest known star to our sun has a temperature that could allow liquid water and is possibly habitable.
Well, you know it's closer. It literally has the word Proxima in its name.
Exactly. It's approximately right there.
Yeah.
We know where it is approximately. But if we ever get a signal from any of these places, Hawking warns that we shouldn't be too eager to say hello. We should be wary of answering back, he says in the film. Meeting an advanced civilization could be like Native Americans encountering Columbus, and that didn't turn out so well. No, it did not. So
no, it didn't.
Yeah, that's I guess
whether it turned out well or not depends on which side you're on.
Well, yeah,
it worked out pretty well for Columbus.
Yeah, he did all right. Other than I can't even remember. I see my history's a little too. I know things went bad, but as far as how he died, my history's a little fuzzy.
If I ever knew, I don't know.
Yeah, same me either. But
I know he's dead, though. That I am positive of.
So I'm just wondering which side Stephen Hawking thinks will be on.
I get the distinct feeling we're supposed to be the Native Americans.
I'm thinking you're right, but yet if we're advanced enough to get to this planet to find them.
Well, they called us. I suppose they might be able to get here, too. They just don't want to.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple times. You never just called somebody because you just don't want to talk to them face to face?
No, if I don't want to talk to somebody face to face, I'm probably not going to call them either. I'm just like that. If I don't want to talk to you face to face, I don't want to talk to you on the phone.
Is that why you put the screen up in the studio?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I put this computer screen right in front of that chair where you're sitting.
I'm actually calling from my house on there. He won't even let me come to the studio.
Yep. You're just in the other room on your cell phone.
Yes.
I actually saw a girl from high school I hadn't seen since high school. 40 years I haven't seen this girl, and that's the last time I go to that strip club. But it wasn't a good strip club to go to. I mean, it was modern. They had a wheelchair accessible ramp
for the stage,
but it went to the stage. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a hack. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
You have to reach through their walker to give them $1. Anyway. So what's happening in the news, man?
We'll hit a few news stories here. I want to start out with this one just because it's strange. The eternal search for the latest cosmetic secret just took a really weird turn. A video of a Florida woman using her boyfriend's testicles as a beauty blender has gone viral because, well, it is nuts. She said, I never in a million years imagined it would get this much attention. It's definitely been a crazy experience. She posted the clip on Twitter on Saturday, and now we could be looking at the scrotum as a revolutionary leap in makeup application. To be honest, she said, it worked surprisingly well. I obviously only did it on my forehead, but I didn't even need to fix it after with a beauty blender and anything. So it's safe to say it worked successfully. Hines said she got the idea when her boyfriend Damon Richards, who's 20, began placing his boys on her head as a joke, and she wondered aloud what it would be like to use them as a beauty blender. Because I have to say, whenever I have somebody's nuts on my forehead, that's what I'm thinking of: is how can I use these to apply cosmetics?
That's true. I mean, that's the first thing you think of.
Yep, that's the first thing that goes through your head when you have nuts on your head.
You could always create your own. Makeup company, the Lipton tea bag makeup company. So
yeah, what do we think of that? That's one of the more unusual ways to apply makeup.
That's true. Yeah. I dated a girl one time that, I liked her and stuff. Like I had to break up with her because, took her like hours to get ready to go places. She'd be putting her makeup on and, I'm never dating a clown again. That's...
Yeah, but was she using your scrotum to put her clown makeup on? That's the other story.
She used her ex-boyfriend's
I guess this
scrotum.
would be. Oh well, there.
Yeah, that was the bad
was just
part.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I guess getting ready to go somewhere, he would be equally late while you're applying your makeup because he wouldn't be able to have his pants on yet.
That's true. Yeah. He'd also have to maintain a pretty rigorous shaving schedule to make sure. Well, or maybe not. I mean, maybe not shaving would probably make it. I don't know.
I don't know, because I would think that you might every now and then leave a hair sticking, and you don't want hair in your makeup, you know.
That's true.
Poor woman walking around with a pube on her forehead the whole day.
That's true. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess when you're being used for makeup application purposes, shaved is always better.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
Didn't think you'd be discussing this on this show,
Nope,
did you?
that's bizarre. That's for sure.
Well, I try to find unusual things.
This is the longest day of my life. Minutes feel like hours, like days, like years. My thoughts
The weekdays are made for working, but the weekends, those are made for gaming. Join Ellison Smith every Saturday for a new episode of Saltwater Gaming as he breaks down video games of all different genres, consoles, platforms, and eras. Get a bit of the old and a bit of the new, a bit of the action and a bit of the mystery. Get it all every Saturday on Saltwater Gaming, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
We try to go with stuff that's a little more interesting than Donald Trump.
Oh, that's cool. I like stuff like that.
Being a Pikachu has never seemed more terrifying. A video shot at a Pokemon festival in Songdo, South Korea. Last weekend shows that, Songdo.
Songdo, South.
Last weekend shows what should have been a cheerful, innocent performance of 15 adorable creatures dancing to You Can't Stop the Beat. But for one Pikachu, they could stop the beat. Apparently, about a minute into the performance, one of them began to falter, seemingly unable to keep up with the song, and then it begins to deflate, and that's when the men arrived.
A Pikachu with erectile function.
Yes, two well-dressed men, one clad in a suit, bolt onto stage and grab the rapidly flattening Pikachu. Then more men in suits arrive. For a brief moment, we hope they're there to help, but the world of the Pokemon has no mercy.
Pika,
The men grab the flailing Pikachu and rush it off stage. In the meantime, the dead-eyed, smiling Pikachus around it continue to dance as if absolutely nothing is wrong, while we can only assume their teammate is somewhere being put out of its misery.
You know, if you go to a sushi restaurant, there's nothing better than flailing Pikachu.
The flailing Pikachu.
Yes.
That's I think that's a martial arts move, isn't it?
Yeah. Probably a martial arts band.
Yeah.
And now live for your entertainment, halftime entertainment, flailing Pikachu.
Yeah, but that actually, having a Pikachu pulled off stage and put to death like that actually seems more of a North Korean story than a South Korean story.
Yeah,
but, that's
poor little guy.
Apparently they lost a Pikachu.
Atomic weapons too. He'd be like, they'd fill him with helium and go, push him south. He's going south. Oh, the wind caught him. There he goes.
Yep, that could have been what it was. That was a North Korean Pikachu spy down there infiltrating the Songdo, South Korea Pokemon Festival.
Nothing worse than a North Korean Pikachu spy. I tell you.
That is always bad news.
Yeah.
Yes, that is, and apparently it failed worse than their missile
those
program.
Those Croatian Pikachus are pretty nasty too.
I have not had a run-in with those before. Yeah. Now, Dan Dean was on the show, and he was talking about albino chupacabras, which is not quite the same, but I believe that's in the same family. Because if I saw a Croatian Pikachu or an albino chupacabra, I would probably be running the other way.
I think that was a dance during the 1920s, the albino Pikachu.
So we have the martial arts flailing Pikachu and the albino chupacabra dance.
Let's see you play that in Scrabble, suckers. You ever played Scrabble and just tried to do dirty words? It's really kind of boring.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's
boring,
only 4 letters mostly.
Yeah.
Unless you use like the proper terms and they're real long, and it's no fun.
And so, I know I'm going to screw some of these names up because this is over in Zimbabwe. It's such a fantastic story. A pastor who tried replicating the biblical story of Jesus Christ walking on water has been eaten by crocodiles. The pastor, identified as Jonathan Mthethwa of the Saint of Last Days Church, tried the demonstration at a river known as Crocodile River. Mthethwa from a local church in Right River, Mpumalanga. Sorry.
Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga. He died Saturday morning trying to demonstrate the biblical miracle to his congregants. According to the Herald Zimbabwe, he drowned in the Crocodile River and was seen by his church members getting eaten by 3 crocodiles. Deacon Nkosi, a member of the church, told the newspaper, "The pastor taught us about faith on Sunday last week. He promised he would demonstrate his faith to us today, but he unfortunately ended up drowning and getting eaten by 3 large crocodiles in front of us. We still don't understand how this happened because he fasted and prayed for the whole week."
Okay, that's funny on a couple different levels because he fasted, so obviously they didn't get a really full meal.
Right. They just got this little skinny guy, and there were 3 of them that had to share him.
I don't get that one. That's just like these people that go to church and they, pray with the snakes.
Yeah, the snake charmer.
The snake charmer.
Yeah,
that's you know.
Or is that what they're something like
I don't know what they do, but it's just weird.
It's an Appalachian thing. It's kind of see. I have family down in Tennessee that used to go to similar things, and they had to tone them down a lot. But I've heard stories, and it's like, really, why?
Yeah,
that's like trying to walk on the Crocodile River,
right?
Doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's the thing to me is. I'm sure there were children in his congregation that had to witness this, and I'm hoping that some of them, see the irony that the adults, actually one of the adults was quoted as saying, "We still don't understand how this happened. Here's how it happened. He tried to walk on water in Crocodile River."
Right, in Crocodile. Well, that's just like
not hard to understand how.
It's just like people
sitting up by crocodiles.
It's just like people saying that sharks aren't. They're not aggressive. Really?
Well, they're not if you stay on land.
Yeah, I'm not going to find out.
I've never run into a shark at home. Chilling out. I've never, they're not that aggressive, as in they don't come to where I live and start messing with my stuff.
I don't go there. Exactly. I'm not going to where you live and mess with your water. And you stay out of my pools.
And if you don't want to be eaten by crocodiles, don't try walking on their river.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like there was a mystery of whose river it was.
Right.
It was in the name.
It was called the Crocodile River.
And just don't say you don't understand how it happened, because anybody with any sense understands how that happened.
Yeah, I know people who have maybe a 7th or 8th grade education, and they would have common sense not to do that.
They would figure out. I bet there's crocodiles in the Crocodile River.
There's got to be something to that name.
Yeah. Would they just have called us that? They just called it that to keep us from walking on it. There's no problem at all. They just made that name up to scare us.
That was the most idiot thing, but it is what it is. He demonstrated faith, and he'll be rewarded in heaven.
Yeah, we hope. Yes.
Either that, or God will be up there, and what the hell were you thinking?
Yep, you're giving me a bad name, man. You're supposed to be speaking for me down there.
No wonder no one's following me.
Yeah. Yep, that's why your congregation left.
This is just stupid. Okay. All right, we'll move to the next one, because I don't understand that.
How can we move to the next one so quickly? That was so fantastic.
I'm going to demonstrate my faith by walking in the Crocodile River.
Yep, he demonstrated something. And there's more to that article, and this Nkosi guy, just keeps going on about describing how he got eaten and how quick it happened. It's like, well, yep, they were hungry, and he was fasting, so he was smaller.
Obviously, the crocodiles didn't get the memo about the fasting.
Right, yeah, they're like, let's fill up on this guy. Nope, he's been fasting. Here's one I want to do. I want to make sure I get this out there, because it's kind of a public service announcement as well. Okay. A Pennsylvania resident with a penchant for naming his children after Nazi figures has officially changed has officially changed his surname to Hitler. Local news site MyCentralJersey.com reported, as of Monday, the man formerly known as Isidore Heath Campbell can now legally identify himself as Isidore Heath Hitler, an expression of his admiration for the Nazi leader. The tattooed neo-Nazi, who now lives in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, that's Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, stepped into the news spotlight in 2008 when a New Jersey market refused to put his then 3-year-old son's name, Adolf Hitler, onto a birthday cake. Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, just for personal information, Shippensburg, Pennsylvania has a population of less than 6,000 people, so he probably won't be that hard to find if anybody wants to stop by and say hi.
What was the name of town again?
Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. That's
Let's spell it out.
Shippensburg. Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. It's the population of less than 6,000. The guy's name is Isidore Heath Hitler.
So his name
probably not a lot of Hitlers in that town either, so you probably won't have that much trouble finding him.
So his name was Isidore Campbell, and he changed it to Isidore Hitler.
Yes.
You hear that name, and Campbell is the part you want to change?
Yeah.
Like
your name's Isidore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As soon as I was of
First thing I
legal
noticed.
age, that was the turn 18. I'm changing my name from Isidore to what? Anything else?
Yes,
anything else. He sounds like the name of a town from Lord of the Rings. I mean,
Isidore. Yeah,
they're taking the hobbits to Isidore.
I mean, if any of the listeners would like to send that man a generous gift, I know there's a website where you can clearly. I think it's like rhino feces. You could actually like mail it. It's like rhino or elephant.
Send them
something like that.
Send
I
them.
swear.
Just send him one of those terrible edible arrangements. I mean,
yeah. Or just send him a box full of glitter because everybody hates glitter. So you can open up a box of glitter and you know immediately you're a jerk.
I don't know if you guys are,
or like it's like gift box and like you open and it's just like a glitter just goes off.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with I'm sure you probably are, Jimmy. Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah, of course,
of course. So every Christmas season, they put something up on their store as a gift that they've created that you could order for somebody. Now, one year it was just called a box of crap, and it said in the description, "This is a box
of crap."
Right. And people still ordered it and got mad when they got a box of camel dung. And they actually did one. I don't know if it was last year or a couple years ago. It was called the Box of Nothing. It was literally a box with nothing in it, and it said in the description, "Box of nothing."
Well,
there's nothing in this box, and people still were like,
buy it.
"I ordered this box, and there was nothing in it. Let's just send him." Let's send him the box of crap and the box of nothing. He'll be confused.
Well, why were they upset? They were just being honest about it. Like they put it in the description.
Just not everything's a joke, folks.
Can't be mad at honesty.
The best things are, but not everything.
But yes, you just have to wonder how his son, who in 2008 he was 3 years old.
I remember that
so
story.
What would he be now? He would be what, 12,
be 9, 13? He'd be 12. Yeah, it was 9 years ago. He'd be 12, 13.
There is a 12-year-old Adolf Hitler running around in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania,
and like
and it's not his fault.
How is it not his?
It's his dad. His dad.
That's true. Yeah.
Now it's his fault if he's as big a jerk as the original,
Yeah.
or even as big a jerk as his dad.
But like child services didn't think it was a blonde to maybe take that kid out of his dad's custody. And
I mean,
I remember back in like 2006, there were these two blonde girls. They were teenagers, and their parents were white supremacists, but their kids were like really talented singers. So the dad had a lot of money, so he basically like built a recording studio in the house, and they were putting out like pop singles that were all about white supremacy. And there was this big article in I think like People magazine about it. I was kind of like, again, like we're not taking these kids from their parents. Like, they'll take kids from people's houses if they don't make above a certain dollar amount. We can't take them out of their parents' house if they're telling them to, commit genocide. Like,
honestly, I wouldn't hooking the child out of the house as soon as I found out the parent's name is Isidore. Like, you can't trust anyone with that name.
Yeah, there's
you can't trust anyone with that name.
Your name is Isidore.
There.
Okay, you're just not going to be allowed to have kids, sir.
That sounds like an evil wizard again from like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like to pass through the trial of fire, you have to go through Isidore. It's like, geez, okay.
It's like I'm a comic.
My
book,
name is
I'm a comic book fan, and there's a guy in comic books named Sinestro.
Sinestro,
who betrays the Green Lanterns and it turns evil, and they're like, we can't believe Sinestro did this. His name's Sinestro.
Yeah.
He's got the little twirly mustache on his face and everything. You didn't think
handlebar.
Something was the what's his name? Snidely Whiplash from the old Penelope cartoon. Like you didn't think something was up? Maybe just maybe.
As we were actually talking about Hitler, right? Just a funny story. When I was younger, right? My dad, my mom.
That's probably the first time I've heard Hitler and funny story on this radio show.
Oh,
and
believe
I've
me,
heard
hold
a little
on.
bit of everything.
Hey, hold on,
show.
ladies and gentlemen. It's a doozy, okay? So my mom, right? When I was about 3 years old, my mom worked night shift, right? And my dad, he worked on first shift, so he would watch me while my mom was at work, right? So just one day out of the blue, he just takes a Sharpie marker, right? And he draws a little Hitler stash on me, and he, and I'm like laughing and smiling, because I was only 3 years old. Like, I didn't know anything at the time, And then my dad was like, all right, fun, the game's over. Time to wash it off. And it wouldn't come off because it's a permanent marker. And my mom came home, and, oh, man, she was pissed. It's
that's not why you have your bangs down low, is it? To cover up cover something up on your... Okay.
We're going to dinner with my mother in an hour.
Oh, right.
I guess I better comb forward.
There was also a neighbor, right? A neighbor. Hold on.
He's
now.
got two funny stories.
Two funny stories, okay? So there's a neighbor in my neighborhood, right? I'm not gonna give out his name.
That's good.
But
please don't.
But there was a rumor, right?
Isidore Hitler.
No,
from
it's not Isidore.
Shippensburg, Pennsylvania.
He So my neighbor, right, as soon as he moved in, right, there was like a rumor that he was a white supremacist, right? It was just a rumor, so everyone thought that he was a neo-Nazi, right? And I actually talked to him, right? I had a decent conversation with him, and I'm like, there's no way that this guy could be a neo-Nazi. And I even asked him about it. I was like, there's a rumor going around. And he said, oh, well, my friend, right, he helped me, moved in, right? And I gave him like a hug, like a brotherly a hug, right? And his friend was also like a neighbor a couple blocks away, right? And someone asked, and it's just like, hey, so, we seen you hug the guy. Is your friend gay by any chance? He's like, oh, no. He's a neo-Nazi, and he told him that so people wouldn't mess with him for being gay. Yeah.
Wow.
And my neighbor said he was just like, I could even walk outside, butt-ass naked, and no one would say anything because they were afraid that I was a neo-Nazi.
Wow.
I was like, that's crazy.
That's freedom right there.
Yeah, that's freedom. I mean, you can do whatever you want as long as you have people think you're worshiping Hitler.
That's the kind of joke.
Yeah,
if you're going to make that joke about your friend, you follow that up with a LOL JK. I mean,
right.
Something to get across.
Yeah, that's sometimes where sarcasm can lead you into trouble.
I mean, I'm sarcastic and cynical, but even I know it's like there are times I have to specify just so we're clear.
Yeah,
I'm not serious.
I mean, if anything, he was just looking out for him. I mean, he's making sure no one would mess with him, and it worked. No one ever has. He's still there. He's been there for a while now.
So that's
I swear that's the last story. That's the last story I got about Hitler.
I got nothing to follow that.
That's the last story of the day I have about Hitler. I swear.
Well, that's good because we're going to have to end there. So this is going to be the taste that we leave in listeners' ears. Well, since there's a father of a comedian in the studio, we'll talk about a father. And his issue with his daughter's career choice. It was only after Aurora Snow retired from porn that she was able to ask her dad how he really felt about her career choice. When she finally did, she was surprised by his answer. He said he was proud, which is not what you'd expect. Between 2000 and 2011, Aurora Snow was one of porn's biggest celebrities, even earning a spot in the Adult Video News Hall of Fame earlier this year. His reaction, her dad's reaction, wasn't always as generous. He admits to being initially angry when he first found out how she earned her money, when he heard her making gagging noises on the Howard Stern show. She pressed her dad further on his reaction. He responded that he didn't want to be a hypocrite and said, if I could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars having sex, I would have done it too. I've bragged about you. How many people can say they've done what you've done? So that's an interesting reaction when you find out your daughter's a porn star.
It kind of makes me worry a little bit because,
I've tried going down that route.
I mean, you
have the
it's a lot
dress
harder than you look. I looked up how to be a gigolo, and you got to know art like Leonardo da Vinci. Like you got to, because they want high class. The women that are doing that, they just want someone to go out to a corporate event with them,
right?
And be, be someone representable. You got to know a bunch of. You got to know a bunch of. Just be smart, know a lot of artsy stuff.
Yeah.
But how old are you now? 24.
24. Just turned 24.
Because see, I've been waiting 24 years for you to put the feminine side of you away and come out with the masculine side. So
my dad thinks I'm gay. He said he loves me even if I am, but I'm like, I'm not.
I would, but
but thanks anyway.
But I see your legs all the time, and you wouldn't look good in a dress. Not. I mean, that's what I worry about the most.
Yeah, I'm like.
Yeah.
So you're not? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I haven't tried. But good Lord, I'm not. Trust me.
You were in jail for a while, so you might have.
Oh yeah.
Now, are you married? Are you married?
I am married.
Oh, that's good because I was afraid maybe you'd be going to be one of the first ones to ask him for a date.
That was a good one, Dad.
All right, you get out of my studio. Okay.
I'm sorry. You've been such a nice guy. I'm sorry.
That's all
He
right.
gave you cookies. And water. This is how he welcomes you into his home.
I want a Reese cup.
Yeah,
I would have been happy
if I'd have given the man a Reese cup. It'd have been fine. He wouldn't.
It was
have
just a big achievement to get him in here today. I had to lie to him and say he wasn't even good. You don't even have to talk. I said, just come in and sit down.
Lied like a dog. Man, we're going to church.
And I
after
told
we
him
get
it was
out of here.
right when you walk through the front doors, you just turn right. We had to walk like half a mile.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work to get this man in here,
Well,
and I
we're
don't
going
think
to
y'all
church.
appreciate
As
it.
soon as we leave here, we're headed to church.
This is out of Lucknow, India. Indian police are reviewing reports of missing children to try to identify a girl who was found living in a forest with a group of monkeys. Yeah, this is a female Tarzan now.
Yeah.
The girl, believed to be 10 to 12 years old, was unable to speak, was wearing no clothes, and was emaciated when she was discovered in January and taken to a hospital in a town in the state of northern India. Where are we here? She behaved like an animal, running on her arms and legs. That's an interesting way to put that.
Yeah.
I didn't write these, by the way. Running on her arms and legs and eating food off the floor with her mouth.
Yeah.
As opposed to eating with something other than her mouth.
Right.
Let's see.
I feel like people forget sometimes that humans are animals.
Yeah, I think that's.
And when they're doing animal stuff, it's kind of confusing. But who's in charge of her? Like, is it at that point? Is it technically a pet? When the individual identifies as an animal.
Yeah, would she go to a shelter or?
Well, it's kind of a hard thing to decide on there.
Yeah, that.
But technically, she would not be a monkey because she has no tail. We gotta be accurate here, because that's an ape.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, they might.
A lot of people call them apes monkeys, and I was that kid in science class who heard that fact and then took it with me the rest of my life. No, that's not a monkey.
Yeah.
My science teacher in 4th grade said that's an ape, and I'm.
She's still not able to speak. She understands what you tell her and even smiles now.
Yeah.
So she's making some progress. After treatment, she's begun walking normally and eating with her hands.
Right.
Well, who's to define walking normally?
Yeah. And you kind of have a silver lining here too. Like, I assume there's probably a village nearby, and sometimes villages get overrun by attackers of various sorts. You're going to need somebody who can throw poop really good.
That's true.
True. And also is going to fit in and look like...
She would do well down in
She probably doesn't have a problem
where
with
they're
it.
throwing the poop down there.
Exactly.
That was a story from the last...
from
the last half of the show.
That's probably why poop's on my mind right now.
Yeah. This is just fantastic. Speaking of tanning man packages, a Florida man thinks his genitals hold the key to avoiding a murder conviction. Richard Patterson is on trial for second-degree murder after being accused of fatally choking Francisca Sorry, I got.
I can see where this is leading right now.
Kenneth Padowitz, Patterson's defense attorney, argued Martinez was not choked by Patterson's hands, as the prosecution alleges. Instead, the defense claims Patterson choked during oral sex.
Huh. To death?
So the defense team, yeah, you would think you would notice something is wrong at some point. The defense team has motioned the jury to be shown Patterson's penis before the testimony by former Broward medical examiner Dr. Ronald Wright, in an effort to help the jury better understand the testimony.
Like, what are they going to do? A reenactment in court? Like, let's see what happens.
They might, because prosecutors do not object to having Patterson show
I would like to sit in on that.
his stuff, but argue that Patterson's organ must be erect when viewed by the jury. So they may need a fluffer.
Yeah.
They may need
Ransom?
I've never known of a court case where you needed a fluffer.
Talk about ultimate bragging rights. Like, I killed someone with this thing. Like, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Where were his hands at the time? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if she's like slumped over, like move her or something, you know what I mean? Get her out of there.
That sounds to me like he was enjoying the moment.
See, well, it could still be murder. You know, he just
definitely.
murdered by ego because he's like,
hey, buddy, what are you in for? You know what I mean? Like, well, let me tell you.
Erotically
tell you what, we're in
asphyxiated
prison. Let
someone
me
else.
show you.
Yeah, that's the ultimate prison shank, isn't it?
Yeah.
He got a new nickname as he's walking around.
Now I know when you get your murders in the gang, you get the little teardrop. You get the little teardrop tattoo by your eye.
Maybe
I just wonder if you have to get the little drop tattoo down there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It means something completely different.
Squiggly.
Yeah. By the eye. You know, like
by the eye.
Oh my gosh, that would be.
Yeah, or you could get the little squiggly sperm tattoo by your eye.
Yeah,
Just be good.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Oh, where's that envelope again?
My
that we were
Lord.
pushing.
He's running that prison.
Yeah,
when it's
where
all
is
done.
that thin line? That thin line has vanished on that news story. But yeah, that's I don't know if that. Here's the bad thing. They were 60 years old.
Oh,
so that just
that did ruin it.
Well, correction. The victim was 60 years old.
Oh God, what is
Well,
he? 22?
that might have just been it for her then. You know what I mean? There may not have been any foul play involved.
She
might have dozed off.
She should have got her tonsils out.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean,
who knows?
Breathe through your nose.
Her false teeth might have gone down the wrong way and got lodged. Which I had to think she'd have taken him out.
Does it say how old
for
he
that.
was though?
It does not, or at least it didn't in the part I printed up.
I'm curious.
But,
What if it's like a 25-year-old man?
It said as Francisca Martinez is the victim. She's 60 years old, and in the Margate apartment. She lived in the Margate apartments in Florida.
That's the problem.
And that
right
sounds
there,
like
Yeah, Margate.
Well, you know those old folks' homes are known for that kind of stuff anymore. I mean, not the deaths and that.
Well,
way,
not that way.
Well, that's probably what the
They're usually
shock
not
was,
doing
is
that to get out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Different kinds of strokes. All right, yeah.
Oh my God!
I'm pushing it for you.
Oh, that's
We're
awesome.
getting on the edge.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
The cost of transporting water to the International Space Station and beyond are so cost prohibitive, about $48,000 per liter, that NASA engineers had to find a cheaper way of taking water to space. Luckily for science, someone figured out a method. Unluckily for the astronauts, it's turning their own urine into potable drinking water.
Oh, good idea, though. I mean,
according to America's Secret Space Heroes, a documentary series airing Sundays on the Smithsonian Channel, NASA scientists distilled all the information about urine and created a distillery that turns an astronaut's whiz into drinking water.
Huh.
So I believe they learned that from the movie Waterworld.
Yeah. They go through great lengths anyway to be an astronaut. Why not drink your own pee?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of that's the test. That's the big test.
I mean, I guess
can you stomach this?
Drinking your own pee is probably the least thing they're worried about, to be honest. I mean,
yes, I'm being shot in a rocket into a place with no oxygen and no gravity. Where yeah.
It's like drink my own pee. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, fear is not a factor.
Yeah, that's right.
At that point.
Like, don't even distill it. I'll just drink it.
Yeah.
It probably tastes better than some of the food up there.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
Yep.
I've had that ice cream.
Yeah, I've had some of that Air Force Museum ice cream myself.
Yeah. So you got to mix it with the tang, I guess. It's whiz tang. The astronauts are they come back, they're called the whiz tang clan.
Yeah, there we go.
I immediately regret drinking your water.
Yeah. Well, I told you that was the one.
That's right. You got it, not me.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, let's see. An Olympic athlete had a fashion mishap during a competition, but handled it like a real champion. Long jumper Blessing Akagbar was competing in Oslo, Norway this week when she took a leap into viral fame. When the Olympic medalist landed, her wig fell off her head. A moment that was captured by TV cameras. If she was embarrassed by the situation, she didn't show it. Instead of wigging out, she waited for her mark to be measured at 6.21 meters, then grabbed her wig and put it back on her head.
I saw that.
Did you
saw
see?
It. What, you saw it?
Did the wig go further than she
did?
No,
actually, I wasn't sure if they were going to measure the wig or where she actually landed for a moment. But and the thing is, she had a stocking cap on under the wig, so it wasn't even really. It wasn't like a real weave. It was like, I'm like, come on, baby, you're doing the long jump. You can't just put like a little hat on and think it's gonna stay on. And the wig, the weave wig, whatever allegedly it's called, it went backwards a little bit, but she handled it like a pro. She just picked it up and went on like grandma would do before she went to the grocery store. She just grabbed her wig, put it on, and went on about her business.
Dust the sand off of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find it for you. We're gonna see. I'm gonna talk to our.
That's being a
We're gonna talk to our
right
fake
there.
engineer and see if they could pull the video up for us.
Yeah, can you guys put the video up on the
Jumbotron or something?
Yeah, on the Jumbotron here on the radio. Can you put the put the video up? On
I'm more intrigued as to how she's an Olympic athlete.
I would think you wouldn't want all that up there, for aerodynamics at least, because she had it, like you said, I saw it. She had a little skull cap thing on,
I'm confused here. I'm just as far as we came with this whole hair and practice thing, and if you bald, I think there's other ways for you to grow hair rather than running with a wig on, doing the jump. I don't know, man. Personally, good for her. If she found a way to be still professional about it, even though everybody on the planet Earth has seen, except for me, the wig fall off. Kudos to her.
Except you're the only person that hasn't seen it, so you got to get out there.
Yeah.
Well, Ray's trying to find it for you. Yep, here we go. Here we go, live on the radio. We have video.
You see her coming down the runway. There she go, and there's the wig.
Like it's so it's so awfully funny.
Yeah.
Like she landed and the wig fell off.
Yeah. See, because as I looked, I was like, "No, are they going to measure the wig right here?" You're looking like, okay, do you measure the wig or do you measure her? Which one?
See, I would think you would measure the wig because that's the. That's what it would seem like to me.
And the whole thing came off, the stocking cap and everything.
I take my last remarks back. She does have hair. I guess she thought that it would be better for her to have longer hair.
Right. See, I would think that wouldn't that be grounds for disqualification? It's just like falling backwards and putting your hand back there. They're not going to measure where your feet were if you had to catch yourself with your hand. I mean, if your hair is all the way back there on the ground.
I didn't do any of the long jumps or anything.
I don't know, and I did the long jump. I was a pretty good long jumper, but that was before Cookie Gate got involved.
But you weren't wearing a wig.
No, I was never wearing a wig. My hair was actually attached to my head. I had about a kid and play high top fade many, many moons ago. So I've never seen any episode like that before. So I don't know. It looked, I mean, yeah.
So would you be in like a track and field coach now? Or are you going to go around to them and make sure that their hair is
Well, we'll have to have some pre-talk.
Before each meet you go around.
Just ask, make sure your hair's secured tightly. Just, please. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have fell off in a race.
Yeah.
Then what? It just, because she can't go back and get it then.
Right.
After the race, you probably
unless they're running multiple laps, and then they're going to step on it, or somebody kick it to the side.
Or trip over it, and then you got another problem, because would that be considered tripping? Would you be able to be disqualified for that?
This is, like I said, this is all new to me. I've never... I'm just as shocked as the rest of the world. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, I've seen things. There's been multiple weave malfunctions throughout life. You get on World Star.
I'm talking about in an Olympic form.
Have there been many Olympic weave malfunctions?
Well, not in the Olympics, but in real, like we said, what we call this, the life in real life.
Oh yeah,
We've seen many
weave
at dances, fights.
Let's say fights is the number one. When you can tell if someone's got weave.
He'd be like, "Hey, that's coming out." And there's always that one guy that picks it up, like, "Here you go."
That actually happened, but it was a bun.
Yeah,
my buddy was trying to help out this girl that got beat up, and when we was in elementary school, she got beat up, and the girl grabbed her bun, and she thought it was her hair. She had the same bun every year for like 6 years straight. We thought that was her hair through and through.
It was a constant bun.
It was a constant bun, and the girl reached back and pulled it off, and the bun was no longer attached to the head. And it wasn't like it was like one of those buns that you would get at like Cinnabon, man. It was like that small. So he picks it up and he grabs it. He's like, "Here you go." And she's just like, I got beat up and I lost my hair.
Lost your buns.
Damn.
But you know where you never see weave malfunction, man? In professional wrestling. Them girls' weaves never come off.
And
they're pulling hair, and I don't know what they're doing in the wrestling world. I was like, the weave never comes off in the super glue, or I don't know, titanium, monkey tape, gorilla tape, whatever they call it.
They have the super weave technology. Speaking of kids, you want a doll that looks, moves, and feels almost exactly like a newborn? Or how about a baby avatar? Or a half-human, half-piglet?
What?
Yeah, that's all in one statement.
Are you just reading off headlines, or is that all
just
one?
Random things. No, that is all one headline. The whole range was on display at a trade fair in Bilbao, northern Spain, showcasing reborn babies made by Spanish company Babyclon.
No.
Yes, one of a small number of firms worldwide that cater to a particular subculture of collectors who value the doll's unsettling realism. Some of the basic silicone dolls cost almost 600 euros, while high-end models equipped with motors to make the doll appear to breathe and suck on a pacifier cost nearly 5,000 euros. As well as human babies, the ones that look like the blue aliens from the film Avatar. The company makes baby chimpanzees, tiny mermaids, and infants with elf-style pointed ears.
Did somebody from
you guys are speaking?
Did somebody from Henson's Creature Shop get fired?
I think so.
Good Lord! I mean, first of all,
who would collect it though? That's just.
I feel like someone's going to use that in like a baby kidnapping case.
Yeah.
Like they'll switch him with a decoy robot baby, and it's like, the old baby switcheroo.
I got the one with the dye pack.
The baby switch
Oh, don't worry, he didn't steal our baby. He got one of the several decoys.
Yes, decoy babies. I want 10 of them. All different.
Like when Saddam was president, he had those body doubles walking around. If you're that conceited, you think your baby's worth that. I mean, maybe it's like Prince William's kid or something, you know?
Yeah, that would make sense. It's a royal baby. Have a royal baby clone.
I have so many questions. I have so many questions.
And we have no answers. There were no answers in the article. I looked.
Yeah, that's first of all, Baby Klon, the name of the company, sounds like the name of a villain from Adam West's Batman.
Baby Klon.
I was going to say it sounds like a Pokemon myself.
Or a Pokemon. Yeah, like this. Oh no, I got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I like to do is just stump guests.
Photorealistic baby factory.
Yeah,
literally, that's what that place is. Baby Klon.
Yeah. Baby Klon. That does sound like it. It sounds like one of those evil corporations.
And the thing that gets me is it wasn't like this was like one dude. Like this was a fair of these things.
Yeah, the CEO.
Like a whole event of all these different ones. It wasn't like it was one guy.
The CEO has one mechanical hand, and all it does is hold a white cat. Welcome to Baby Klon.
It's like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Gadget, would you like to buy one of my babies?
I'll put these babies.
Mysteriously,
only wants to sell these babies to like senators and like intelligence. Why not? You can just leave this baby right in your office. You know, perfect.
Oh my God.
Call it the desk baby, and like, tell all your secrets to it. Like it wants to hear. Like it's the most obvious like bug, but they're like, oh, you know what? I do need a desk baby. You know,
who doesn't?
Madam Senator, why did you bring your child into the Senate meeting today? Couldn't get a sitter. Just gonna leave him sitting here on the desk. Don't mind it. Just ignore it.
Just between you and me, mysterious mechanical baby. Wink, like into the camera.
Oh, can you say that a little? Could you say that into the baby, please?
Speak more clearly into the infant, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello.
Go, gadget baby.
I'm gonna be thinking about that all night at work tonight. Like, wow.
That one was more fun than I expected.
Bizarre.
A hotel in Canada's Yukon Territory wants to conduct a manhunt for a person who stole a human toe. Not just any toe, mind you. This is the toe that the downtown hotel in Dawson City uses in its signature drink, the Sour Toe Cocktail. People come from all over the world to try the drink, which is basically a shot of whiskey with a dehydrated toe in it. The mummified toe went missing Saturday night. The hotel executives are stamping their feet. We're furious, Terry Lee, the hotel's toe captain, said. They have a toe captain at the hotel that's in charge of the human toe. Lee said the hotel still has a couple of backup toes, but hotel manager Jerry Colborn really liked the one that was stolen. Colborn told the CBC that it was donated by a man who had to have it surgically removed. Then it was cured in salt for 6 months. She says that this was our new toe, and it was really a good one. We just started using it this weekend. So apparently you don't get a new toe with every drink. They reuse the same toe.
Have they, I guess, have they checked with the local tow truck services?
Yes, I would think that would be a...
Yeah, they just have to use one toe because they get real suspicious if you start getting a lot of limping customers at the hotel.
It's like we don't know what's
last
up.
night, I don't know what happened.
I got all these people walking in circles in the lobby. I can't understand.
Well, it's up in the Yukon Territory, so I'd imagine there are probably a lot of them that fall off from frostbite.
Well, I wonder if would a Yeti toe fit in?
It'd have to be bigger than just a shot.
Sure.
You'd have to have a tumbler or something.
It'd be like a bad one.
Yeah.
Would you put an umbrella
isn't
with
that
the toe?
isn't that a Jedi apprentice?
Yes, he was really bad. Yeah,
that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Man, they should get more than one toe if they want to do the business right.
I would. Well, they said
I take half a star away from their.
They said they. Well, somebody took half a toe away.
I'm going
Might as well
straight to
take
Yelp.
half a star.
Yeah. That's what they did when he cut the toe off.
Well, they said they had backup toes, but this one was the new one, and apparently their favorite.
Are they behind glass?
They weren't cured yet, but they had to prematurely use a toe.
Yep.
That's disturbing in a way.
It is a little bit to have a drink that has somebody's dehydrated toe in it.
Yeah.
Something is afoot here. Yes.
Yes.
It's like how many Sherpas have lost toes?
Oh, probably quite a few. You know.
Yeah.
Frostbite's it's a pain.
It
But
is.
At least they got it. See, I wonder if they're like frozen. If they use the toe
Is it a big toe
instead of ice.
Is it a big toe?
Yeah, I would hope.
I mean, how do you smuggle that out?
Yeah, I would hope.
Like, you look like a jawbreaker in your mouth, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, sir, we can see the nails sticking out.
Yeah,
Excuse me, sir. No towing in the foyer.
Yep, we're gonna have to have you towed.
Towed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you try the drink? I mean, if you were there and you were already drunk.
Well,
you don't drink anymore,
if I was
Scotty,
still an alcoholic, absolutely.
I wouldn't care what was in it.
There's not many things that you couldn't get past me.
See, I'm just wondering, can't they just like use like beef jerky or something? You know, I mean, who's really going to expand?
Spam into a toe or something?
Yeah, is anybody really going to
so
inspect it
weird.
that closely? Toe spam.
Never mind.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
What about you, Holly? Would you drink that? You a toe sucker?
Yeah.
Toe sucker? It depends on how many euros you have. Toe sucking. Toe sucking, trucking, mama.
So people pay some money to.
People pay for the sour toe cocktail. That is, in case anybody's interested, that's the downtown hotel in Dawson City, in Canada's Yukon Territory. So
that would be kind of embarrassing.
And if
you're flying a plane and they check you in and say, "What you got there, sir?" Toe.
Yeah, yep. There's a souvenir.
What brings you to Canada? I'm gonna suck on a toe.
Yep, I'm gonna try the sour toe cocktail.
There's something about a Canadian toe.
Yeah. Yep. It's the best kind of toe, eh? I wonder because they are they donated? Well, it says this one was donated. I wonder if they purchased toes.
I mean,
I got 10 of them.
Is that in somebody's will?
They had that on their driver's license.
Yeah, toe donor.
Toe donor.
Toe donor.
Yep. That could be.
Lord.
Could be. I'm a toe donor.
Yeah. If you use the small toes, you can shoot them through the straws.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah. Well, you'd have to have a big straw, but still, yeah.
Slurpee.
How would that be sitting in a bar? All of a sudden, you get a little pinky toe upside the forehead. That would be.
Wow. That could be a sign for something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yep. Pinky toe on the left side.
Yep. She was giving me the eyes, so I hit her with a pinky toe.
And then you hit the big toe and
I'm not a foot person in general.
No, but
let alone like somebody stick a toe in my drink. Yeah. That's enough.
That is disgusting.
Stop it. Stop
yes,
it.
It is.
Yeah.
Even dehydrated and sterilized.
I don't care if it's salted, carameled. I don't care. I don't.
Caramel. I don't know.
A caramel toe.
Caramel toe. Now you know what else starts with
having caramel toe.
I hate that too. There's nothing worse than when your caramel toe's showing.
That's a really. Caramel toe is like the other side.
Yeah, that's
oh my
goodness. Disgusting.
Boy, my Catholic girl upbringing is getting shot to hell now.
Oh, there's a pill for that.
Yeah.
There's a
caramel toe is another name for a wedgie, I think. Oh, we are definitely getting kicked off the air today.
Yay!
Not only do you no longer work here, you're no longer a student here.
Yep, I just got kicked out as a student, lost my radio show all in one day.
Does that mean if a guy wants to drink,
caramel toe?
If a guy wants to drink with a toe, does he come up to the bartender and go, "Excuse me, sir, are you finished with that toe? Someone else needs it." Wow.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah, you would have to have more than one toe.
Well, like I said, they have backups, but that's their primary. That's their primary toe.
I can't believe the last 10 minutes of this conversation has been about a toe. That's got to be the most famous missing toe.
Yeah,
ever.
That's like the Pink Panther diamond. That's the Yukon missing toe drink, or would it be a drink toe? Yeah, it'd be a drink toe because
it's toe bad. It'd be like tofu. What?
Now, ankles are good, too, but that's a whole different part of the foot.
Yeah, you got a story about ankles in there?
It's a lot harder to fit those in a drink, is the problem. You'd have to have a much bigger glass.
So, we have a listener in Kentucky right now.
Oh, well, I'll talk slower.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Kentucky listener.
She tried to correct my caramel toe comment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called a play on words.
Yes.
Yeah, you walk a mile for that.
But she said there's 9 backup toes, so whatever. She's into the toe story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's a great story.
She's digital.
Now, does she know if they have 9 backup toes at the hotel?
I don't.
Or is that
I'm gonna
just a
guess that there's
10-toe
probably a toe jam going on there.
That'd be a lot. Yeah.
So. All right. What else you got? Anybody getting beat?
Yeah, let's. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at wwsu1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.